Ladies and gentlemen, we're live and welcome to an ArmGods open house. I'm joined by the CUNT connoisseur, the 75 kilo UK and Ireland King, and also the big, the juicy, the extremely sexy Declan Dillon. How are we doing, bud?
Thanks for that intro, mate. Yeah, really good. Thank you.
Honestly, I don't know whether I'm looking at a prehistoric man.
Yeah.
Or just some mean big mother fluffer, as our friend with a big long nose would tell. Look at him. Let's guess his weight. I'm going for 130 kilos.
Oh, I'm going 122.
Oh, you're joking.
No, yeah.
Give us a gun shot, Deck. Give us a gun shot for the crowd. Oh, look at that.
Come on, tell us, what you win?
Yeah, 130. Well, I went as much as 132 a few weeks ago. Yeah, 130 I'm saying. So about 20 and a half stone.
Are you 132 with abs?
yeah. I don't worry about my abs at all. Nah.
My dad always come out with a good one. He says, listen, love, I remember being in a pub with my dad once, and there's some birds hanging around us. Because my dad's a pretty good-looking guy for 70-odd, yeah? And there's some young lads come in, some like young studs come in there with that muscle vest and the six-pack. Yeah. And he went over to my dad, he went to these young birds, he says, you know what? You can have your six-pack. These women love a barrel. They love a barrel. And he's there with
they love a keg, yeah.
And you know what? He went up with three of them under 19 years old. I mean, there was it back of his van. And he's still in prison. But
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
worth it though.
He still went on with him. So guys, for your guys watching, for you who are watching, this is Declan Dillon. He is a pretty long time arm wrestler now. He's been on the circuit for quite some time. He's dabbled in the world of strongman, powerlifting, arm wrestling. Very successful in all three. Strongman winning his last event, was it, Deck, in Arnold's, was it? You won the SBD something at Arnold's?
Yeah, the Body Power Expo I won, didn't I?
Body Power Expo.
Yeah.
And now he's turned himself back to the arm wrestling world.
Yeah.
He won the event in Wales, won left-handed in Wales. Right-handed. Sorry, Declan,
I won left-handed, didn't I? I won undefeated. I went left-handed undefeated the supers, and then I came third on right.
And he's just freshly back from watching East versus West.
Yeah,
good show.
Yeah, it was incredible, mate. And if you're talking about how people look as well, like what is it, Georgie, the Kazakhstan guy, he looks like a Neanderthal. He doesn't even look like a human being. Do you know what I mean? He looks like he wrestles fucking his dinner and like puts his fingers up like Wild Hog's nose and just chokes them to death and then eats them after, and then like doesn't leave any wastage and like probably makes a fucking boat or something out the skin. Like they're just built different. Those Kazakhs and those Russians are just like complete freak weirdos, aren't they? But yeah, the whole event was amazing. There was quite a few like fights of the night. Some of them were amazing. Like I really the whole, all the stars that were there, like some of them I was meeting for the first time. Like I'm a huge fan of Ivan Matashenko as well. His left hand just went through David from Georgia like butter. You know what I mean? It was just like he set his hook and he just eased him down to the pad. It wasn't even vicious. It was just like, it was amazing to watch. It was great to watch him. Todd Zilla's match. Like Todd Zilla is just a weirdo. Like you look at this guy, he's like 57 years old, isn't he, Paul? He's like, he looks like a normal just bloke, looks like a dad. He's like 5'8", 5'9", nothing freakish, no massive arms, no massive forearms. And he holds up the Russian guy as well that I seen him knock around the hotel. This guy's like 6'3.5", muscular, massive athlete. And he's like, in his Instagram, he's like pressing 100 kilos, you know, real weight in tricep press and stuff. And Toddzilla, being the weirdo that he is, managed to just hold him up. He didn't even get a pin on him, Bull. The 2 pins that he got were on fouls. Do you know what I mean?
I remember watching it. Yeah, I watched it live, Declan. And I seen you there. Saw you afterwards in Cal's corner.
Yeah.
Toddzilla's an absolute freak in nature, isn't he? I mean, you can say what you want, man. People can say it's gear. They can say it's hard work, whatever. But the man is blessed, and he's an absolute freak. And he's weird, but he's a lovely bloke too.
Yeah, he is. He's really nice. Yeah, and do you know what? He's a really good athlete. When I've seen him compete out in Poland before, when I was with you out there, and when I've seen him there, he's very professional as well. He's very good at, you know, you meet him, he's a very nice man, but when that hood comes up, his eyes are glazed over and he's very good at getting up there and being very clinical as an arm wrestler. Is really nice to watch. And he trains, I think he's a guy who trains for his opponents really well as well, doesn't he? Like, he was on the back of the win with John Brezink, and he also knew that this guy was he knew he had to really bully the center with this Russian guy because he's mega strong and he didn't want to be on the losing side. That was an incredible match. The Revaz and Vitali, that match, I really enjoyed seeing that up close. I think it was strength wise, I think it was flip a coin, you know. I think they were literally 50-50 when they went back pressure for back pressure, riser for riser. Yeah, it was on Reza's side, but Vitali was holding. He had the most grimacing, I'm in pain face going on. And he was just holding him for like 30 seconds. And then weirdly, he managed to crack his wrist, get a bent wrist again and get his pronation back. Because Vitali's his wrist is iron. At no point did he even lose his wrist as well. You know, that, and Revaz was looking massive as well in the hotel scene. He's 6'5". They said 145 on his like top trump card, but he's probably about 160. He's massive. I think before the match as well, because I've seen Vitali compete quite a few times, I think he was a little bit nervous, and because I think Revaz has been destroying people, and he dealt with Chafee. Did he beat Morozov as well? So he's just like, he's doing really well. Anyway, that match I really enjoyed, and I think Revaz, to be honest with you, in my opinion, it was half a little bit of a niggle and half him quitting. I think he threw his toys out the pram because he kind of stomped off stage. Did you see that at the end?
Someone said about my lump on my head, so I'm just showing them that.
I think I'm a lump.
All right.
Yeah.
No, all right. Sorry. I thought they was talking about my big shoulders, Deck, but they're not. Sorry, carry on.
No, sorry.
No, what I said is I think Revaz stropped a bit. I think he went 2-0 down with Vitali, and I think he lost it mentally, and I think he quit, and I think he threw his toys out the pram like a big dummy, in my opinion. And I think he said he was injured, and he wasn't, and he didn't really shake Vitali's hand. Vitali's a very nice guy. He didn't speak a bloody word of English, but you can just tell he's got a nice aura about him. And Revaz just stomped off the stage with his other Georgian mates, you know, Irakvili and that. His attitude was just like he's not used to losing, and he just throws his toys out the pram, basically. But deserved win for Vitali, and then obviously the main card. I'm talking loads. You talk, Paul, but Hermes and Devon. Going into that, you thought Devon was going to do the business, didn't you?
Very few, yeah. And for me, like, the match was already won. Like, Devon had obviously played the tricks behind the scenes. He'd done everything. I mean, Devon's way of training. I mean, I know Devon sometimes struggles with other guys, but I purely believe that's down to just the volume of training that he's doing. And I think it's very difficult when you're training with so much volume like he does to peak at the right time. But we've seen it a couple of times now. And when he peaks, that man is an absolute animal. I know Gasparini more than likely probably peaked 4 weeks prior, because he peaked for Jerry Caderet. Everything would have been peaking for Jerry. The cycle, the training, everything.
Yeah,
so,
agreed.
he may have come off his cycle. I mean, for me, he didn't look overly well in himself. Like he looked a little bit flatter, and he looked a little bit, look a bit like he may have been tapering off his cycle, or maybe he carried his cycle on a bit too long. I don't know, but the truth is, Devon beat him in every department, and I genuinely thought he would do. And yeah, amazing job, man. Devon Larratt, an absolute beast. I'd love to see him go and conquer Levan. I would love to see it.
Yeah.
Whether he can or not, I really don't know. I think the one that gives him the biggest trouble, even if he powers up, will be Vitaly Latin. I
agree.
really think that's probably going to be Superman's kryptonite. Like the souped up Superman.
Yeah. He's kind of everything that he is, but a little bit bigger, isn't he? Like, when you see him elbow to fingertip, he's got those extra 3 inches in length in hand and stuff. His hands are a bit bigger, and he's nobody, I think, in the world at that height at 6'8" is as strong in that area up there as him. It's so hard, isn't it, Paul? You trying to match him up there, you're going to lose, and then trying to hook him's almost impossible. So, and he's so fast as well. Like Vitaly, I absolutely love as an arm wrestler, and he's a freak, isn't he? He's one of those that I think quite a lot of people think it says if he bulked another, if he really got juicy and got another 30 kilos on him, he's the man to beat Levon, isn't he? Really, like he's probably most likely guy to do that. But I just don't think he's willing to take the same risks. Maybe you don't know, but as Levon,
is he not though? I mean, because we both seen him competing a lot lighter weight. I mean, I first competed against Larratt in 2014 in Lithuania World Championships, and he literally pulled me out my shoes. Like he was walking around then, like happily walking around at 97 kilos. I was like 5 doors behind him, watching him weigh in, and like his cock was like that. And no, I'm not joking here now. The guy's got a length on him like that, right? It's a good 7.5 on 4.
Always got to go to cock.
No, but I'm being straight up.
Thank you,
people like Declan's bottle. You like Declan's Pepsi bottle, there, right?
Oh, for God's sake!
I'm telling you now, the man had a 7.5 on 4, and so you can put a kilo on there. You know what I mean? Because it was guthy too. It was proper guthy. And all I'm saying to you is this: like. He weighed what 90. I saw him weigh in at 97. So
I seen him 106 in 2017, and he was like a beanpole then. Because on a 6'8" frame, that's skinny, isn't it? Let's be honest.
And on a 6'8" frame, 7.5 inches isn't that big. It's kind of.
Don't encourage him.
Not on the slack row, Connor. I wouldn't like it tapping me on the shoulder. Put it that way. So. But on another note, on a serious level, he can carry the weight well. But what I saw him, he was suffering with oxygen himself, weren't he, after that Dave Chafee match? So I think there's becoming a point where arm wrestling is a combat sport, right?
Yeah.
And I'm starting to see the top guys gas big time. Yeah. Eddie really pushing the limit because it's not like picking a weight up off the floor. I mean, we see like, deadlifting and rocks and climbing, whatever.
Yeah.
This is a combat sport. It's a mixture of strength, endurance, skill. And you're seeing these people on oxygen masks constantly now, yeah? And they're not. And so, Eddie pushing the limits. Is Vitaly pushing the limits to being a combat sport, even though he's 6'9"?
Yeah.
It's I think there's a fine balance. And
you're right. You need cardio for it. You do. Arm wrestling's exhausting, isn't it? You need to be able to. And even your ATP, your ability for your muscles to recover between a round, do you know what I mean? Or you definitely do. Super matches are exhausting with people, especially people at that elite level when it's close. It's got to be good for more than 2 or 3 pins.
Yeah, and that's the guy I think. What's up, Connor? Hang on.
I'm getting shit. I'm getting shit in the. Come on now.
Is Connor ever not bevying?
No.
Who's Bea Rooney? Who's Bea Rooney?
He was at the Edinburgh Con.
Oh, is he? Is he all right? Is he a bit of a tosser?
So.
Oh, is he all right?
He's a tosser, right? Okay, that's fine. That makes sense.
Listen, let's just have a quick chat before we jump back into who we think can beat Devon Larratt. Let's have a look. We've got old Muscle Bike, and if you don't know Muscle Bike, he's a spitting image of a fat Chinese baby. Yeah. Have you ever seen that, Declan? That fat Chinese baby up phone. Have you ever seen it?
Yeah, of course.
We've got Devon's forearm giving us a little plug. Let's have a look if we can find something here. I'm not even looking for it, but yeah. So I did have something planned, but I'm scared death of pressing something wrong because we're on this new system tonight where I can put comments up, but I don't have the best track record of like doing professional things. And Dean Bolt's left us, obviously, passed away.
Died again, yeah.
God bless his soul.
Mm-hmm.
We've lost our friend Dean Bolt. God bless him. God bless him, fat bastard. I'm glad he's gone, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he pulled out that match with fucking.
I know, pulled out of his mat with pork chop, Dean Bolt there.
What was that about? Someone gonna explain what happened there? Like,
I don't even want to speak about Dean Bolt.
I don't either. But like, pork chop's over here thinking he's pulling Dean Bolt, and then Dean Bolt pulls out. What's going on?
Well, listen, let's look at it right. So Dean Bolt made a comment the other week. I know we're going off topic here, but Dean Bolt made a comment the other week saying, "Oh, maybe I'll get on an ArmGods card." Well, you pulled out 3 of them, Dean. Like you pulled out 3 cards now. I don't even want to speak about it. Anyway, it doesn't matter now, does he? Because he's down there with the worms, isn't he? Gladly eating him away because he's an absolute shithouse.
What you did?
No, we did love him.
Oh dear.
No.
Yeah, we did love him.
We loved you, Dean.
Yeah, we loved you. And
Hasn't he done like 100 of these shows with you, Paul?
Yeah, he has, yeah. But none of them was any good because he was on it.
So fickle.
I mean, let's be honest, he didn't exactly say much, did he? He was like, all he did is like that, sit there like Obelix from Asterix. That's all they did, isn't it? Anyway, good riddance to him. Good riddance to him, if you ask me. Good riddance. Yeah, so yeah, 100%. I think that the Latin will do in Devon. I think I really foresee that should be the next battle. I'm not really that arsed about seeing Devon and Dennis. I'm not really bothered about seeing that in November. I'm not overly enthralled about it, although I have seen some good videos of Dennis pulling with Morozov. He looked mega, but you don't really know what side table action's really like.
Yeah.
Well, Paul, you always seem to beat me on the side table, but in competition, I'm undefeated against you, so it really means fuck all. It really means fuck all.
All right. Yeah. But you didn't feel very strong tonight, I must admit.
I've passed on all my power to my teammate over here. Speaking of which, I'm gonna have to tag out and go for a piss in your sink. So Rico,
you can keep going.
yeah. So Deck, obviously, I've inherited 2 Scotsmen this evening. One very uncouth one, and one actual nice bloke who I wish I had stood at the side of me.
Yeah.
But I think the rightful battle for number 2 should be Devon and Larratt, and I really hope to see it. But let's not speak about that now. Let's not speak about that. Let's speak about the real stuff, the real matches, the real show. What's happening September 30th in Ottawa, Canada, as Team Canada faces Team UK, who fought it out in qualifier to finally reach a final 9 men will put it on the line from each country to decide which nation is the worst. And we have got a great team, Declan. Unfortunately, you're not in there. You didn't make it to the qualifier. I know it upset you. But yeah, we're getting ready to go, buddy. We're getting ready to go. And in 31 days, we're going to be putting the Canucks to the pad. What do you reckon, Deck?
Yeah, who's the 9 guys then? James Wall's one of them, isn't he?
Well, we'll start from the 75. So we've got Connor Sale, right?
Yeah.
Ted Wilson. I mean, Ted Wilson, we've got a WhatsApp group, and Ted Wilson's been having lots of fun in there. Everyone's scared death of him because you do know that Ted Wilson sort of bats for both sides, don't you?
No.
I don't think he's going to be very happy with me saying this. Hi, Ted. But anyway, Ted Wilson's the only one we've got a pair of hot pants and a pink t-shirt for pulling in. He's got his own set. Yeah, so we've got Teddy Wilson, 75 left.
Yeah.
85s, we've got Jason Hill left-handed, Craig Sanders right. 95, I believe this is the class where we dominate. We've got James Wall righty, Adrian Popescu left hand.
Yeah.
And then 105s, we've got the immense Elliot Eccles, who is on like a massive winning spree right now. With James Beach left-handed.
Yeah.
Supers, we have Big James Stewart pulling Porkley Chop. Right-handed Mindaugas Dulskas, who's pulling a special match. Unfortunately, Pavlo got injured this weekend against Marcio Barbosa, so we've lost Mindaugas Dulskas opponent Pavlo. So we are looking for another man. So we reached out to a couple of guys. Hopefully, we'll be able to get that called on tonight and pick it up.
Yeah.
And then we have our very own David Bradford. He's pulling
John Terrian.
Mm. Then we have Rick Heinenbrecht, who's he just won that AWC event in Canada. He's pulling Muratov Aslanov, who won the Arnold Classic Super Heavyweights. He was from Azerbaijan, now living over there. So he's on the card as well.
Yeah.
Aslanov's a solid motherfucker.
The match that you should have had, Rob Frampton. He's in the chat now, actually, Big Rob, my pal. And he's pulling Big B, that's just going to be an absolute decimation of smog because he's just going to go through the Big B like diarrhea. I mean, he's more interested in looking cool like one of these black guys in the club. I get more ass than a toilet seat. You've got more ass than a toilet seat, you mean, you big fat fucker. Because when Rob Frampton gets hold of you, you scruffy toe rag, he's going to absolutely annihilate you. So there you go. And I think that's it.
Okay, so you got your 9 athletes.
Well, no, we've got BLM, of course. We're just waiting on Marius Tabacus get back to us, I think, tomorrow. Hopefully, Marius from Australia will be over there. If not, we'll see that. It's coming out retirement, and it's going to put BLM to the pad and batter him around like a small child.
And are we talking about me against the bank robber?
Oh, no, we're not talking. No, we're not speaking about your match. But he just asked who the team were. So I'm just telling him, no one's really that interested about your match.
Everyone's interested about my match because of the podcast with Beerman. It turns out that Danimal's one of the coolest guys of all time.
Oh,
I'm a big Danimal fan now, so we have to talk about him.
Have you? Right, okay. So basically, Conor Sale's opponent is a man, he calls himself Danimal. He's done 26 years in prison, so yeah, he's obviously a nice bloke.
He's a great guy.
He's a bank robber. He's all over Wikipedia, and he thinks he's big and tough. Well, I'll tell you something now, Danimal. Come over with your little pea shooter, and I'll smack you around the ear. You saw the punch I threw at Beer Man. Be afraid, because you're going to get one yourself. You know, he's generally a bank robber. He's done 26 years in prison, so he's clearly been bum raw. You know what I mean?
Or was he the bummer? We don't know.
I don't know. Danimal,
you know.
Danimal, was you the postman or the post box? Ted Wilson would like to know. So let's have a look at who we. Hang on, let's look at his comment. Who's this millionaire?
Oh, David, how we doing, man?
David Tom, who the freaking hell's that?
Oh, David's my good friend. He shouted at me a couple of weeks ago and told me I was a cunt.
Oh,
so I love him.
Bad mouthing Big B and BLM, nice. Yeah. Danimal is a nice man who takes care of baby squirrels. Well, David, you're clearly not all there, you magic mushroom munching tit. So just
it just got weirder and weirder to take care of baby squirrels.
I know. Yeah, he's clearly got some fucking children
David
kidnapped in his basement or something.
Yeah, hold him there, Paul, while he's there. Phone the police. Somebody get him on. Get the number on.
Yeah, David, you see that button there? Click out of it and piss off. Yeah. You know what? We're meant to be keeping these streams clean nowadays, but it's so difficult when you get people like that.
Yeah. Trying to encourage people in. but bullying them at the same time out. It's a hard balance.
Oh no! I mean, at the end of the day, Declan. I mean, we just lost 19 subscribers. He's so hard to hold it in though, Declan. Everyone's gone to like Neil's channel because he's gone live at the same time as us. I've actually got Neil on screen here. I think Neil's knocking around somewhere. Oh, there he is. I don't know if you can. Hi Neil, you all right, mate? How are we doing? Did you see Neil Lendek?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Oh, hang on, we can't say enough about this because Neil's Declan's best mate now. I saw them sat at the side of each other at Arm Wars like that. Hey Neil, when am I coming on Arm Wars?
On Arm Wars? I haven't been on Arm Wars.
Have you ever pulled an Arm Wars?
No.
Not me neither. Me neither. Oh, yeah, I'm blacklisted.
I'm not surprised. So go on, Declan. What match are you looking forward to most? I mean, I don't know if you know any Canadian team, but how do you see them going on against us?
Well, I think we got a good chance. Obviously, in that middleweight, like James and Adrian are both class, right and left-handed. So, is that the match that James is going against? Is it the Hitman or something? The Canadian guy? Is that who he's got?
Alan Ford. Alan Ford.
Yeah, I think James is in amazing form. I think that's a bad match for him, though. That guy is a bad match for the two styles is not good. Not to say he can't pull it off, but I think that's a bad match for him. Popescu as well is really, really strong. I've never pulled him left-handed, actually. I'll be really interested to pull him left-handed. I think it'd be a good match. And then supers as well. I think James Stewart's got a great chance of winning that left arm match against Porkchop. And Mindaugas is a fucking beast, so I think he's got a great chance as well.
Whoever he pulls.
Yeah, whoever he pulls over there, to be honest. I think he's on that level.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Like, on a serious note now, is building a team. It's just something new. It's something exciting. And it's just something that we're going to be carrying on and on and on. With all these contract talks going on recently and this, that and other, and people being tied up and turning matches down left, right and centre. I mean, it's happening to loads of people. I'm just really happy that we've got something that we can mature on, we can carry on building, and it's our thing. I mean, everyone's looking at getting all these top pullers, and you've really got to look outside of the box and start building your own little plan and getting everything together. And it's exciting, mate. We've got lots of stuff going on.
Yeah,
and Messling's in a great place right now. You know, we've got all these pop up little associations and federations and stuff, and arm wrestling's buzzing. I mean, Dan Quit was telling me, I was speaking with him. He's the president of the PAA, the main organisation in the UK and Ireland.
The professional one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're the unprofessional one.
And he was telling me he's got nearly 450 people, different arm wrestlers signed up. That's huge for the UK, and that's PAA. I mean, that's what the PAA has brought in to the UK and Ireland. I mean, you saw it, Declan, when it was dying at 30 people at last Nationals, and now we're bringing in like nearly 450 people. Yeah, they don't all turn up at Nationals, granted, but the numbers are getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's a big snowball effect right now, and it's absolutely buzzing. It's really good to see, you know.
That's great.
So, Dec, let's talk about you. Unfortunately, you had to pull out your match with Big Rob Frampton. I know he was devastated about that, but you're looking absolutely massive. Who's next? Who do you want?
I think that match with Rob Frampton right-handed, that super match has to happen. I'm ready for it whenever it comes up. Obviously, you said you're going to slot me in on the Arm Wars card, so yeah, I think that match would be good.
Arm Wars card.
Kick him off.
Arm Wars card. ArmGods should be. Yeah.
I'd like to pull Adrian Popescu left-hand super match as well. And maybe James Stewart as well would be a good one, I think.
Left-handed
match.
Yeah.
Because obviously I favour my left. My left's really strong. Left's really good. Yeah, I think those, and then maybe Lee Webber right-handed with good super match as well. Obviously, we were training partners, so we kind of know each other well. But yeah, Lee's mega strong. That'd be a good match.
Yeah, I know you sent me a little list, didn't you? That who you was looking at pulling.
Yeah, yeah. I've been looking like comps as well. I mean, I think I'm going to do. I want to do that your card in October at Wolverhampton super match, whoever you set me up with. I want to do. Does that conflict with the comp in Leeds?
It does. The comp in Leeds is the day before.
Is it okay? So I'll do the super match at Wolverhampton instead. And then I was also looking. There's a Swiss Cup in there in the first week of November. Like the 4th, 5th of November. I might just go over to Switzerland, little cheap weekend, and just compete right and left, just to get some comps in. And then 3 weeks after that is national, so I might just go boom, 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 try hit like a super match and 2 comps in like a month. I think between now and then, a good 6-8 weeks training, and then just that's the plan. I think in October and November, do as many as I can.
Sorry, mate. We just got a message. I don't know who this guy is.
Yeah,
He's called Daniel Labry or whatever. Libya.
Labber. I don't know.
What's it called?
Yeah.
That thing. Woman's fanny.
He said, listen to you bunch of cunts, lol. Well, he obviously is listening to us bunch of cunts. So there you go. There's a bit of irony there, isn't there? Really?
Yeah.
Does anyone know who he is?
No idea.
All right. Anyway.
I think he robbed a gay strip club of a couple of men.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah, I think for you, Dec, I'm really interested in seeing you with Rob Frampton. I think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think that I would like to probably start you off with Big Dwayne Reese from Wales. I think I'd like to get you started off with him, ease you back in, because I think that Dwayne's an ever-improving guy. He's currently ranked 3rd in Britain from last Nationals.
Yeah,
so I'd like to get you started with that, and then perhaps throw you in with Rob Frampton right-handed in Paddy's Day next year, because that's where Valhalla number 3 is going to be. It's going to be in Carlington Island and Paddy's weekend. So I think I'd like to get you in there.
That'll be nuts.
And then I think I would like to bring your left arm out round about December time. And I think left-handed, maybe Lee Webber or Big James Stewart, depending on how it goes. Because Big James Stewart has an opportunity in Canada to change his life, doesn't he? I mean, if he beats Pork Chop, James Stewart is on the map.
He's got a good chance, I think. Like, to be fair, Pork Chop on paper is the favourite because he's pulled more and people know him. But people don't know about James Stewart yet, and that massive hand is a big problem for a lot of guys.
We're talking about a massive guy. Carl Hutchinson was great to have Declan there at East versus West. His wee lad Solomon is a legend too. Well,
that's nice.
Yeah, we seen you there in Carl's corner. It was nice to see and get that support in. It was great to have a guy from UK and Ireland on that card as well, showcasing. It didn't quite go his way, but it is what it is. He'll be back, bigger and better and stronger than ever. I've no doubt, Carl. So you keep doing what you're doing, buddy. Obviously, he's our ArmGods champion as well. And it was really, really good to see you on there, buddy. It was awesome. And Salacious B. Crumb, aka Phil Woody, has just put a nice little Carl Hutchinson thing on. So, Declan, how far away are you from likes of Carl Hutchinson? How far away are you from beating people like Dean Bolt? How far away are you of standing on the biggest stage of them all, the ArmGods stage, holding that UK and Ireland belt, saying, "Ah woo, ah woo, ah woo"?
Really close. Like, really close.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I have every belief that I'm going to be all of those guys and surpass them. And I don't see why not. Like, anything I put my mind to. And I am a complete weirdo when it comes to strength. Like, I am, when in certain disciplines, like world class, like up there with anyone. So I just think that it's just going to be, yeah, to answer your question, not very long, not far away.
Are you
And
completely committed to arm
not
wrestling?
as far as I thought I was.
Are you completely committed to arm wrestling now, or are you
Get that belt to someone else. My left is out for a while, he said. Me and Carl didn't actually pull when we went out there. We didn't do any side table together. We wanted to pull, you know, as the two Brits there, we wanted to try and pull other guys. So I did pull some left hand. So Brad Grundy, I went with him left-handed, and he had nothing for me. Just smashed them all over the place.
Did you? Did you smash him everywhere?
Yeah, Brad Grundy. Yeah, his left arm just smashed them everywhere. And Carl was like, "Yeah, a bit of redemption for us Brits." And Zorab was there as well because obviously he's broke his right arm, and I pinned him as well. He just didn't want to have anything. And then I was pulling left with the Georgian who won 85 kilo. Against the other Georgian guy, what's his name? Something Samushi Vili or something like that. Yeah. So I beat him a few times on the hook, but then you know what side table's like? It's kind of a dogfight, isn't it? Sometimes people just go a second earlier, which makes a big difference. There's no ref, so he could take my wrist a few times. But yeah, I got some good after pulling in. It was like loads of baboons climbing over each other. Me and Carl were just fucking bullying away because they just climb over each other. And I pulled a little bit of right as well with some people as well. I was beating a lot of people as well.
John Terrian's coming to the house. He's going to be fighting David Bradford. He's just saying Grant BLM versus David would be a mismatch. Possibly, buddy. But you've got your work cut out with the wizard, the dragon. Can't wait to see. I like John Terrian. He's one Canadian I can't bash because he puts it on the line. He wrestles everywhere, anyone, anywhere, and you can only respect that, John.
Mainly arm wars.
I think one thing, going back to Kyle's match, it was amazing. We should all be really proud of him as a Brit, as an Irishman, going over there and competing and being the first one to be on that East vs West card, which is like the pinnacle of arm wrestling at the moment. I think it was just one of those. I think he had a niggling right. He didn't do a lot of table time, which, as you know, is the most important thing with arm wrestling. And I think it's just one of those things. I think he will definitely, we spoke about it, come back hungrier. And you learn a lot from your losses, don't you? And in arm wrestling, you need to lose quite a lot because the level, especially now, is so high. And I think we pulled Brad on the side table, and I still think he was the stronger man. I just think his execution, I think he got two in his own head. He admitted this himself, and he just let Brad load into his fingers. Brad was a fucking secret assassin. Brad looks like he goes to choir on Sundays. Like, he just looks as no intimidating build, really well-spoken American. And then he was like rock solid in that. Like, he was technically a really good arm wrestler, really strong riser, good pronation. And Carl went back to pulling more novice and a way that we know he can pull a lot better. But it's all experience, do you know what I mean? He looked mega strong in the qualifiers. He deserved to be there, and he'll be back better, definitely.
Well, I'm going to be completely honest with you, Declan.
Yeah.
That Brad Grundy, I'm going to look into that camera and I'm going to say, Brad Grundy, I think you're an absolute tosser. Not only because you beat Carl, but because the cheeky bastard, and get this, someone sent me, I got a couple of clips got sent, and they said, so Brad, do you fear Carl Hutchinson? He went, well, I've seen him struggling with Paul Maiden, which doesn't make me scared at all. But then I've seen, yeah, he did. He said that, Declan. I know the shot was on my face as well. And then he said he struggled with a couple more like Camille and somebody else, and that does scare him. Well, listen, Brad Grundy, here's one for you, you absolute shithouse. Right? Lose some weight off your skull, you Neanderthal man, right? Because your skull weighs 172 kilos. Yeah, he's had something like prehistoric creature. All I'm saying to you is drop a little bit of weight. We'll get you over to ArmGods, and I'll knock 7 bells of shit out of you, because I will do you in. No ways and no buts about it. So, Brad Grundy, if you're watching this, if anyone wants to clip it and send it to him, I'm going to do you, and I'm going to do you good fashion.
in a sexual way.
What do you reckon of that?
I think it's fucking
Don't
hilarious.
underestimate me. You're one of them. Won't underestimate me, Declan.
No, I don't, mate, not at all. But yeah, definitely, I think you would out arm wrestle him, definitely, for sure.
I'm going to do him. I'm like mega strong. I can even push Connor Celtic pad now.
Almost.
How old is Connor? Connor, how old are you?
22.
Fuck off. You're 22.
22. I met you when I was 16.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, was I sound?
No, you were a right cunt, and I loved you already. Like, I was like, yeah, asshole. I love him.
Brilliant.
That's why me and Paul get along so terribly.
Yeah.
But I've still got videos and pictures on my phone of you when you was a jumped up little 16-year-old. He took his top off. He had his little piggy tits and his little belly. And now, 6 years on, he's full of gear, ripped at bone. But there's one thing that you can't help with these Scottish people. All of them have got wee willy willies, little wee willy willies, haven't you?
Are you drunk off of one beer?
Yeah, I am. Yeah. But you have got a small dick, though.
Tiny.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's
Like,
real small. Yeah.
Joshua Davis burst into hotel room, and Connor was in shower, and he come in with his phone. Not only did he have pubes longer than his penis, it was like pathetic. You've seen it, haven't you?
Oh, he's seen my cock.
It-
Yeah.
it-
To be happy with that.
No, I mean
No.
the thing is, he's seen an English lass as well now, and well, all I can say is she's been with wrong boats.
She must have, because she thinks my cock's massive.
Yeah.
You know.
You know why she thinks he's massive though?
Aye.
Because she's a she-male.
Fuck, that's what it is. Yeah, I thought that vagina looked a little bit weird. You know.
Sorry about that, Declan. I mean, listen. Declan's a professional arm wrestler. You know, he's not. He wants to go on like these.
I haven't seen Declan arm wrestling in years.
Have you not?
No.
No, neither have I. Have to come to think of it.
No. Like, I heard that he was going to be pulling Rob Frampton, but did that happen?
I've already bottled it. Yeah.
No, I've heard he bottled it as well.
Are we the only people on? Are we like the only hosts of arm wrestling shows that actually like belittle the guests? Oh, God.
Brilliant.
Hang on. Who's this? Shabba arm wrestling. How does Paul know? Well, I can't comment on Connor's young lady, although she's not very young. She's quite old, actually. She's old enough to be his mother.
Mm-hmm.
She is actually. How old is she? Your missus, new girlfriend.
73.
Yeah, he met her at an arm wrestling show in Manchester.
Yeah, the night before I pulled Jason Hill.
I know, and she must really like him because Jason Hill went through him like diarrhea, and she stuck by him. Like, it was the most embarrassing thing ever. He's got his arm, I remember he's got his arm around his like nightly piece like that. He's like cuddling and like that. He went on stage and Jason Hill absolutely battered him, and you can see her like just like thinking, texting like that to a mate. I've made the worst mistake of my life.
That wasn't her texting. That was her downloading Tinder.
Yeah, some Tinder dick because you were pathetic.
Hey, Paul. I was the heavy underdog in that match, and I was up shagging all night. So it's not my fault. It's our fault, really.
Oh, so what you're saying is you kiss and tell as well. So you just said you've been making love all night to your girlfriend. So you basically said she opens her legs.
She fucked it all up. Yeah.
You better be quiet because you're in serious trouble. Because she'll be watching this, you know. She's a stalker.
Fucking will, yeah.
She messaged me last week.
You fucked it all up.
Yeah, don't message me again. He's my mate. Don't ever message me again. Because I won't go near one here. I'm leaving you alone. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Every now and again, we just veer off on a path.
Yeah.
But Declan, if you want to talk, if you just want to talk purely and simply about arm wrestling, then you've got to like go to a different
I've got
show.
the wrong show. Yeah, obviously,
Yeah.
clearly. If you want, brilliant.
You know, the thing is, the viewers have increased because we've started talking about something other than arm wrestling.
Yeah.
Like anyone who watches this, anyone who watches this show, they think, well, hang on then. Well, they can't really talk about arm wrestling because they don't know anything about arm wrestling. So we'll just talk bollocks instead.
Yeah.
I don't know how to arm wrestle.
And Kevin Keegan's joined us. The Scots full of excuses.
Who the fuck is that?
Kevin Keegan, he's a footballing legend.
Well, he's an arsehole.
No, he is, Luke. Oh,
Oh, that's fucking shabby, you drunk
oh yeah,
cunt.
I pressed the wrong one. There we go. The Scots full of excuses. Yeah.
I don't know who this guy is. I don't watch any sports.
But he clearly doesn't like you. So all I'm saying, Declan, is this.
Yeah.
Carl Hutchinson has given up the belt. So how about this one? I'm going to put this to you now.
Yeah.
October the 22nd.
Yeah.
Wolverhampton at the Hangar.
Yeah.
Declan Dillon. Dean Bolt. James Stewart.
Dean Bolt if he shows up.
James Stewart. And who else do you think should be in that fatal four-way? Who else should be in that fatal four-way?
Well, they're all supers, aren't they? So someone in the supers.
Yeah,
Would you say left-handed?
left-handed. Who else should be in there?
Well, Kyle Hutchinson's left is done for the moment. He said that. Yeah.
Me, James Stewart, Dean Bolt, and depends if Mindaz wants to pull on his left, I suppose.
Yeah, Minders is pulling right-handed that same day. But let's see if Minders will throw it in. Because if he does, we'll do a fatal four-way for Carl's belt. We'll do a thingy. We'll just do a toss of a coin, get it on, and we'll have a championship match in October. What do you reckon about that?
Yeah, I fucking love the sound of that, Paul. The best idea
so it's now set in stone. So, guys, October the 22nd, another Super Series is going to go down. You're not only going to see the likes of Tom Holland, Lee Webber, James Ward, Mindaugas Dulskas,
Connor Sale,
Adrian Popescu, amongst others, all go for it for £1,000 on the line. Them guys will be pulling in a massive round robin. You're now going to be seeing Declan Dillon, Dean Bolt, a special guest, and James Stewart go left-handed for the UK and Ireland Championship belt.
Yeah.
We like to treat our members, Declan. We like to treat them. Here we are. Scott James is in the house under his girlfriend's name. Am I a nerd? Arm wrestling, Uncle John. Well, he's obviously off his napper. You know who he is, don't you? Scott James. Declan.
Scott James. No, right.
Yeah, he's that guy with a nose like that, like really big.
Is he the Welsh?
Yeah, he beat Mitch Top and won the Southern Area belt.
Oh yeah.
Scott James is a fucking legend. Absolute top elite. I love him.
Yeah, it was an amazing.
He's an elite alcoholic. He's one of my favorites.
Oh, hang on, James Wall's just come out with a good one. Let's throw Wojciech in there, but I don't think you spelled that right, James. I think you might be slightly.
Oh, James is inebriated.
Yeah, he's definitely been on his magic mushrooms again.
James is
fucking hell.
With James Wall, you're watching. Get in touch with Wojciech. Let's nail it down. Dean Bolt will see this in the morning. James Stewart has already accepted. Declan Dillon's accepted. Let's get it on.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to see Wojciech pull anyone left-handed because I haven't seen him pull anyone at all recently, and he seems to be pretty fucking good, but I don't know.
Yeah, well, he won the Polish, didn't he, last year?
Mm.
The Polish championship.
It was a while ago, but I want to see him British guys.
They had a big sparring down this weekend at Otto's place, didn't they, in Kent? And they went with JKC and Wojciech and that. And
JKC, Lee Webber, Tom Holland, all that. They were all there.
Steve Rhino Hurst. I wouldn't mind a right-arm super match with the Candyman sometime.
You need to pull me first, Steve, because I don't think you can beat me anymore.
Get Mantis on there as well. Mantis is mega strong. This could turn into an absolute battle royale.
Yeah, that fucking hell. How would the format work, Paul, roughly? In your how does that work with 4 people?
Well, I think what we'd have to do, Declan, I think we'd just have to do a flip of the coin and do a random draw and see how it went. Or we could do a round robin. And
to see
you know what I
who's got most wins. So people with 2
Yeah.
wins or 3 wins, and then they go.
I mean, on 24th of September, in the novice one, we're doing under 85, under 85, over 85.
Yeah.
So what we're going to be doing there is that's going to be like a PAA battleground, like Dan Earthquake does, and they're just going to continue to pull until the first guy gets to 10. Well, 4 people get to 10 pins, and then they've got to get to 4 pins, and then they've got to get 2 pins in the final, and then we're going to find out who's going to be the winner on the day. That's going to happen. So we could do something similar with that in October the 22nd, because this is like the British Bodybuilding Championships with a bit of strongman on as well there.
Yeah.
And then we've got the European Championships in October, and it's a massive big war race with like a 30-foot title on screen, and all the final matches will be on there later on at night. It's going to be immense. They're giving us a really good stage, and the owner of the place is absolutely arm wrestling crazy. He's been Snapchatting me, send me some links. So like, I've been sending them over to him. And
did you send any pictures of your cock?
No.
Not yet. They're still in the talking phase.
Why are you bringing the show down?
What? You always bring cocks in it. Come on.
No, I don't know. I'm trying to have a conversation with Declan about championship belts.
Well, you're trying to have a conversation about cocks.
No wonder no one likes you. Anyway, Declan, for us adults. So yeah, I think something like that would be good.
That sounds awesome. That sounds amazing.
Hang on. Steve Rhino, Connor. I'm going to make one comment here. I'll be up for that, Connor. Steve, you can't even beat that bloody Salvatore. What's he going to do against you? Steve Rhino Wurst. You know I love you. You know I like you. You know I respect you. But you're not going to beat this man. In fact, I'm that cocksure of it. I'll bet you £200 next weekend, come down and watch this guy wipe the floor with you. So listen, small man syndrome, sit down, shut up and watch the show.
Wow.
I'm not even a match anymore. I'm fucking 79 kilos now. Fuck off.
Yeah, 79 kilos and roared to death, ready for September. So what do you think about this steroid section, Declan? Like, is the world steroid crazy nowadays? Is that the way forward? Is that how it's going to be from now on, do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
I love steroids.
I think sports are just rife with steroids, to be honest with you. And I think, like, obviously, you've been an arm wrestling for a long time, Paul, so you know. I think probably a long time ago, I imagine it was a very clean sport. Maybe a few guys dabble in, but it's gone. The elite level arm wrestlers are fucking massive and jacked, and they're all juicing. I don't know how people are getting WAF titles, to be honest, because being tested and being clean are 2 different things, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? People can be tested. I know guys who were in tested feds. It doesn't mean they were drug free. They're 2 different things, aren't they? So yeah, I think so. I just think that I think when it comes to sport, you're always going to have problems in things which are not in the Olympics, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? When you go into a more niche sport like strongman, powerlifting, arm wrestling, these kind of strength sports, they're not sanctioned. They don't escalate up to be in the Olympics, do they? So therefore, the top tier in that sport, like with bodybuilding, for example, the top tier in that sport is a Mr. Olympia, which is a non-tested thing. So why would people not at a lower level with the aims of going there not use steroids, for example? With arm wrestling, people aim to be in top 8. They aim to be in East versus West 9, which again is not a tested thing, is it? So there's going to be steroid use in these sports. And I think if people want to keep it clean, that's absolutely fine. And if they don't want to, it's their own personal decision. And I think that there's definitely space for there to be tested and untested. Like in powerlifting, there's tested and untested, isn't there? Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah, but I mean, okay. So my only problem with this is, so we've all gone down with a contracts. Yeah, people have been going on about the contracts. People have been saying all this palaver. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're saying, well, every professional sport has contracts. Now, every professional sport then has testing. Yeah. So if you're having a contract because you want to put it up to professional sport, then surely you've got to do the testing that what goes along with it. I mean, you don't get all the boxing associations They do the VADA, the voluntary anti-doping. They do all the others, USADA, UCAD, and things like that, Declan. Now, if you want to be taken seriously, you can't align yourself with WAF and then not do drug testing, surely. You have to drug test properly. Like, surely that's how you progress a sport. You know what I mean? Fill me in if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. Guys, in the comments, are we wrong? You know, if we want to be treated like true professionals, like, surely that we have to test like true professionals, yes or no? What are you saying?
Stone silence.
No, go on. What are you saying, Declan? Straight up. Can you hear me?
Yeah. What do you mean? What, my own personal views?
Yeah, I'd like to know. Yeah.
I don't see the only time I see a problem with performance enhancers is when it's in a tested sport and people are using them. Do you understand what I mean? So if you're in a tested fed and you use it, I think you're a knobhead. I've always said that, and I've always thought that. I've never competed while on PDs in a tested federation. I've not won some natty belt in powerlifting. Strongman was never tested. As far as I'm aware, I've never been tested in arm wrestling. Do you know what I mean? So I think the thing is, people associate steroids with cheating a lot of the time, because what they know of is they support Manchester United and they all get tested because otherwise they don't compete in the Premier League, do they? And they have to be drug-free. It's a drug-free thing, football, isn't it? Or the Olympics, they watch their country do the sprinting. They know that their sprinters can't be on steroids, so they get tested. So, but it is a funny, I see what you mean, Paul, but it's a funny grey area when you go into strength sports, because strongman was nothing more than just a circus event. I mean, 10 years ago when I was watching Britain's Strongest Man, it was in a fucking car park. Do you understand what I mean? These are guys that, of course, want to be taken seriously as athletes that they are, eating and training and using PDs to be the size and strength that they are, but they're competing in a car park, they're competing for a trophy, and they're making no fucking money from it. So I think it's a huge thing to put that on people, to then say you can't use PDs in that sport. Do you get what I mean? It's nothing more than a hobby for them and a passion. So each to their own, really. That's not.
Sorry, Declan, for cut across you.
Yeah.
Well, I want to know then. So, how do we get taken seriously? Like, how do we come out of the dark ages? Do
you think that I don't see arm wrestling like as a progressive thing, like going towards the Olympics and being tested as the route? I think that like Engin's doing with East versus West, that's the route. Like professional super matches.
Yeah, is it the route? Because you're not building a crowd, Declan. You was in the crowd, yeah, but you're not building a massive atmosphere. You're not building like thousands and thousands of people watching. You're not sat in the action. You know, it's not like sponsored by any like huge giant people like what you'd see on TV, because they won't sponsor non-tested people. And they don't.
Is that when you talk to sponsors, you know, because this is your federation, is that what people have a problem with? They have a problem with
testing stuff. Yeah, they always ask if are you testing? Of course they do, because the thing is, they want fairness in sport. It's like they want biodegradable bags in supermarkets and stuff. You know, it's that's what the life is nowadays. And the truth is, I look at it this way, right? If you want arm wrestling to be in the dark ages, leave it how it is. No problem whatsoever. Keep it there. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But you can't put, this is my only problem, you cannot put arm wrestling on the same par as other professional sports, right? What test constantly around the world. Like even amateur rugby league test. You know what I mean? Let's get things right here. Let's be honest about it. Like arm wrestling's that far in back in the closet. It's in Narnia. That's where it is, right? So we need, if you want to be treated like boxing, you want to be treated like cricket, rugby, or football, you want it to be a sport that can actually make something, get somewhere, then you need to test. Of course you do. Now I appreciate, right, that there's people are still going to use performance enhancing supplements, and so be it. I have no issue with it, Declan. I really don't care. I've been slaying gearheads all my career, and I'll continue to slay them because I am the gear slayer. But all I'll say is this, right? if you want to get the sport to be as serious as what you're trying to make it, when you're on about contracts or whatever else, then come on, guys, let's play fair and let's go and get it all tested. Because I guarantee you this, the actual out of 35 arm wrestlers at East versus West or any big association, at least 30 of them are using gear, if not more.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're walking around like some prehistoric creature. You know what I mean? With fair enough. Like, it looks good on a strongman stage.
But do you not want to see? But do you not want to see that in the same breath? Do you not want to see East West? Not East West, but a production
who is the best. I want to see who is the best. Which man is the best? Like, I want to see. I don't give a shit if he's got 25-inch biceps or a 9-inch bicep. I want to see man on man who is the best. We'll never see it because someone will always cheat. But I want to see. I want to see who's the best man versus man. I want to see that. I don't want to see. I don't want to see mutants. I'm not interested in seeing mutants. If I want to see mutants, I'll go and watch World's Strongest Man or sumo wrestling. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I want to watch arm wrestling. I want to see who's the best. But I also want to see. People take us serious. And the minute that you say the premier arm wrestling show in the world, which is rather, well, obviously it's ArmGods, but the premier arm wrestling show in the world currently is King of the Table and East versus West, right? You would argue.
Yeah.
And neither of them test. So, of an outsider looking in, looks at them two sports and say, "Oh, there's no, we don't drug test." It then becomes laughable, and that is the truth. It becomes laughable because you're not doing it, man. I mean, like, how can you take something serious if you're not following anti-doping regulations? You can't. It can't be like they do anti-doping in chess. They do doping in snooker, and they do doping in darts. Yeah, but they do that.
So you're saying basically, like, from an inward, this little dome that is arm wrestlers who love arm wrestling, no arm wrestling. Most of them, I would say, don't really care, do they? Whether people do or don't. But from an outside looking in on the dome, as people who want to spectate it, put money into it and view it, they will care, won't they? And they're saying when you're approaching sponsors, that's the main question that they ask and what they're interested in. But what I do find funny or annoying with people, with human beings, and how flawed they are, is that it's funny that is dictated by people who are nothing to do with it. Doesn't that what I mean, Paul?
Yeah, I know.
If they're not an arm wrestler, they don't, like, people, for example, have always got something to say about steroid use. They've always got something to say about someone who's big or muscular or uses drugs in whatever sport they do, running, swimming, blah, blah. Like, look at Lance Armstrong, how much he got slayed for just using steroids, yeah?
Oh, that bugged me, Declan. That was out of order. I mean, that really did me head in, and I used him as an example. They used him as a scapegoat, and they ruined his career. Like, he
raised also a bigger picture than just using an individual using steroids is that he raised like 300 million for like cancer, like testicular cancer. Do you remember all those bans and that?
Yeah.
Like, surely that's bigger than somebody who's like in a sport is doped. And also, guys 1 to 15 were doping. Fair enough, it was just one guy in the race. Like, all the guys in his team were doping, and every other cunt, and he was just the best that was using. Do you get what I mean? So it's little.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just find it funny. I just find it hypocritical with people that they dictate in a sport. Like, people are saying about the Olympics and these people are cheats and liars, but people are happy to sit at home and shove their face full of junk food and smoke fags and drink and be fat fucking hypocrites and liars, never train a day in their life, and then look at Arnold Schwarzenegger and say, look at this guy, isn't he a cheat? Isn't he a fraudster? That's human beings. That's the human condition, isn't it?
No, I agree. I agree what you're saying. But like,
because whether somebody uses or doesn't, from being a champion southpaw, whether it's drug-free or it's not, the level of dedication to be good at something is
unbelievable, yeah, of course. But this is what I'm trying to get across, bud. Like, I'm not on about me as a personal. I'm used to competing, and it's a sad state of affairs when I say I'm used to competing against people on gear. It's a sad state of affairs because you shouldn't have to say that, because it should be stamped out. It should have been stamped out years ago, and they could have done it. But people wanted to put that in the pocket instead of actually putting it back into arm wrestling. But all that to one side, that's for another day. I'm just if people want to get arm wrestling, in my opinion, they see it as a niche sport and they want to get it and they want to ball it up like that. They want to put it in the pocket and squirrel it away, and they just want to keep it hidden from the rest of the world. And that's what I believe. I genuinely believe that's what they want to do. They want to control it. You can't want the best for the sport, because if you really did, then you'd want people, the outsider looking in, to say, hang on, look at this. They all drug tested, whether they, pass a test or they don't pass a test, whether they're taking all sorts of stuff that clear it, I don't know. But the truth is, let's get it tested. Let's do it proper. If you want it done as a proper professional sport, then let's test. Let's test. And then you've got then you're going to see then who's going to be the best, the real best. Is Levan going to turn up to like a 95-kilo man again? Are you going to, what you're going to see? I don't know. But at the moment, for me, if an outsider looking in, I look at arm wrestling and I think it's a joke. I think to myself, hang on, okay, then you want to be treated as professionals, but yet you're not doing the necessary things to be looked at as a professional. Because boxing tests, every other sport tests, and I don't want to see arm wrestling like, oh, okay, they test at WAF, but they don't test in professional sport. Because we're always going to be in dark ages.
I think it would split. Don't you think? Like, let's just say that happened from tomorrow. Don't you think that would still happen, Paul? And that it would split the sport in two ways. Like, Levon would never go and compete drug free, would he? Ever? Or be tested?
He'll have to retire.
Maybe he would just hang up and retire, or maybe things like East versus West would still happen. Just what I mean, and more people would.
But then what? So you'd have. Okay, right. Tell me this: Tyson Fury, arguably the best heavyweight boxer in the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, the best of any weight class, the best, world-renowned best. Yeah. Does he get drug tested?
He does. He's failed one before as well.
Does he get drug tested? Yes or no?
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
And do all the other top boxers in the world get drug tested?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Because Dylan White's just got popped as well. So they're the best in the world, the recognised best guys in the world. Do the best footballers in the world get tested?
They do, yeah. But it kind of, I do get your point.
Please. So the best footballers get tested.
Yeah.
Okay. Do the best American footballers and baseball players in the world get tested?
Yeah. They do, but
no, but they don't. Yeah, they don't pass. But do the best arm wrestlers in the world get tested? Not the best WAF amateur, because let's be honest, that's how we get around it. Well, the amateur arm wrestlers. Well, no, so some of them, like Cedrus, compete in the amateur division and also good enough to compete in the professional division. Yeah. Cedrus is, he's an amazing arm wrestler. So tell me that. So do the best arm wrestlers in the world, the best of the best, get drug tested, yes or no, apart from maybe one or two ever?
No.
Okay, so how can we be treated the same as them other sports? How can we be taken as serious as them? Can we or not?
Yeah, I fully understand. I fully understand that. The not that it's an issue, but the other break off things from that is, like you say, is it comes down to sponsors and money, doesn't it? A lot of the time as well. People care a lot more. So one, like I said earlier, is the Olympic sport route. So the pinnacle of the sport is drug tested. And then also like sponsorships and money and things like that. And a lot of time people representing countries. It's a lot of politics to do with sports a lot of the time as well, isn't it, really? As to why people do
Declan, sorry, but people want to see the best of the best. No point in seeing the best natty when shitloads are better. No one cares about best natty. Well, if that's the case, then Carl, Why don't you just become natty? Why do you feel people? Why do you feel people?
No, he's saying, but people don't care about the best natty, which I do agree, because I remember being a young teenager and the drug, like the GBPF, it was the drug-free powerlifting. The records weren't very good, and people don't know who the drug-free goes. But then in the untested, in BPC back then, in the GPC, was Andy Bolton, who was the best in the world, from Leeds, and people wanted to just see the biggest and strongest. I don't know. You know more about arm wrestling than me, and you know the history of arm wrestling way more than me. But like, it's looking other sports as well, isn't it? Like strongman, for example, at World Strongest Man, I know that they test, but they don't test for anabolic steroids or growth hormone, for example. They test for random weird stuff. That's why one year Marius got third in like 2001, and then it was like amphetamine or something like that. It wasn't even steroids. Do you know what I mean? Like, who gives a fuck if he's on amphetamines? So I know what you mean. You're trying to bring it from the dark age of not being like it's strongman still for a long time before these arenas, like the last 5 or 10 years, were like a circus show, wasn't it? It's just like a circus.
Yeah, I'm going to put this then because Carl just come up with another one.
Yeah.
And Carl knows I love him, but I'm going to argue with him. Imagine testing strongman. No one would watch it. People would want to see the freaks. Okay.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I do agree with that.
Agreed. Yeah. Agreed on that, Carl. Completely agree. But arm wrestling isn't a strongman show. Strongman pick up stones and bars and cars. Powerlifters pick up bars and deadlift and squat. Arm wrestling is a combat sport. Agreed?
So, yeah, is your argument more that people can be great at arm wrestling without the use of drugs? Is that
okay? So, but arm wrestling is a combat sport. So if you are taking steroids and your opponent isn't, and you hurt your opponent, i.e., he breaks his arm, snaps a tendon like Cal did to me, it just went, but you know what I mean? You know what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
Then we're not talking that's a serious assault. They argue this in boxing. Why can we not argue it in arm wrestling? Arm wrestling is a combat sport. And in boxing, when the people are on PEDs and they get twatted, they say, hang on, well, it's you basically.
I think we can have this debate on and on and on. I think you're right. If the guy was using and he was in a natty fed, then it's a bad thing, and you're absolutely right. But I think, as you know, because you're natural and you choose to compete with people who are not, then you take matters into your own hands.
Hey, Grant, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I mean, so are you actually going to come clean then, Connor, and tell everyone that you take creatine, or?
I take a lot of creatine, a whole lot, fucking 10 milligrams a day.
No, I just think, man, I just look at it a different way. I mean, I've sadly come to the terms with the fact that I compete with people on tackle, and that's fine. I'm really don't care, Declan. I really don't. I'm too far long gone in the tooth for that. But I'm just on about when people want to push it to the professional limit, but yet they're not treating it as such. This is the point I'm trying to get at. If we want to be taken as same as the serious sports, then in my opinion, we've got to do the same as the serious sport. Yeah. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. I mean, I like seeing the big giant strongmen too, but they're lifting bars. They're not actually being in combat with somebody where they can genuinely hurt somebody. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, yeah. And the thing is, I'm not pro peds anyway, Paul. To be honest with you, I'm not. Do you know what I mean? I think they serve a purpose, and it's down to the individual. Do you know what I mean? That's all I'll say about it. It's not a
no. I agree.
Being tested or people using which one's better. I don't really think either, to be honest.
And we're not even going to ask on your opinion, but what we'll do, guys, is probably put an end to this show because
I'm getting nervous about all the drug talk and I'm sweating. So we'll just end it here.
So I'm just going to give a quick breakdown before I say goodbye to my beautiful guest, Declan. But I'm just going to say this is so September the 24th, we're at the Hangar in Wolverhampton. Novices, the link will be up for you to sign up below 85, above 85. If you're an ArmGods member, it's free to enter and you get a pre-workout, a free pre-workout. If not, it's 20 quid. If you're not an ArmGods member, okay, of a minimal immortal. So go and get that if you've not already done so, because it's only $4.99. Gives you a month free of everything. This coming Saturday, if you're an ArmGods member, get yourself down to Club Torture. If you're an ArmGods member, you've got a seminar with me. James Wall will be over, Connor Sale will be over, amongst other top guys, where you can pick and choose who you want to listen to. It's also going live on www.armgods.com. The big one, September 30th, Team UK and Ireland will be invading North America, going to Canada to give them a good ass kicking. That's also on your subscription. October the 22nd. I mean, oh my gosh, I'm like Santa Claus emptying his sack all over the place. That's also on your subscription. You're going to see all the best arm wrestlers in the UK and Ireland go at it at the Hangar in Wolverhampton. We've got nationals. We've got all sorts coming, guys. We just keep giving back. Just keep giving back. Just call me Paulie Claus, because that's what I do. So I'm going to say thank you to Connor, even though he's not said much. He just drank beer. Thank you to the one and only gorgeous, big, juicy, sexy Declan Dillon, who I can't wait to see on the table, young man. Thank you to all you sexy guys in the chat. Thank you for bearing with us and subscribing. And yeah, if you've not already done so, please like, share, subscribe this. Get over to ArmGods.com. Make yourself a member. Good night. God bless.
Woo.